Good evening, everyone. It's nice to have you here again. This is the month of September, and it's yet another edition of the Business That Sells webinar. It's good to have every one of us here. Thank you so much for joining in. Tonight's promises to actually be very great. All right. Tonight promises to be great. And I'm pretty sure that we are all excited. I'm pretty sure that we all have our our writing materials, we have our notepads, we have our pen, to take note, because tonight is going to be really, really amazing. All right. So first of all, I want to welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have you here tonight. And I want to say thank you for showing up, even despite your busy schedule. It shows how committed you are, to building a business that actually works. And I promise you that tonight will be worth your time. That's a promise. Okay. Now, one thing we need to understand is that most business owners, they are posting daily, they stress themselves on a daily basis, and weekly basis, and even monthly basis, but yet they are not seeing results. They're not seeing results. And why is that? It is because, whenever they create a content that is not exactly attracting clients, it is just noise. Right? They are just there. They're just creating the content, but they're not exactly really, creating the content that really moves the needle. And that's why tonight's session, this month's session, is very, very important. We are looking at the topic, creating content that attracts clients. We're not talking about likes. We're not talking about followers, but actual clients that can actually pay you for your value. I mean, now, when I use the word client, I'm talking about both clients and customers. Okay, so that can actually pay you for your value, pay you for your product, and pay you for your service. Now, before I bring in our facilitator for tonight, I want to just share, 3 quick things with us. The first thing that we need to understand when we are creating content is that clarity actually supersedes or creativity, hands down. Because if people do not understand what you do, there's no amount of content you put out there that would actually move the needle. So people need to really understand what you, so you need to be clear. We talked about this, last month when we were talking about how to save yourself from burnout, right? Grow your reach without burning out and all that. You need to really be clear about what you're doing. People need to understand you. People need to understand your product. They need to understand your service. So that's why you need to understand that clarity actually supersedes creativity. Another thing is that consistency without strategy is just stress. Yes, you can consistently make a post. You can consistently make a post, right? Daily, weekly, monthly. And then you're probably wondering why nobody is buying. That is because you do not have a proper content strategy. So you need to have a good content strategy, because that is what actually moves the needle. And then the last thing I'm going to be sharing here before I bring in our facilitator for tonight is that content is not for everyone. It is for your ideal clients. You're not creating content for everybody. So sometimes when I ask some persons, who are your client, your target audience, and they're saying everybody that can buy or anybody that can buy, everybody cannot be your target audience. So you're not creating content for the whole world. You're not creating content for everybody, right? You're not creating content because you want everyone to follow you, because you want to increase your followers. You actually just need to create the content that would actually reach the right people to trust you enough and then get to buy from you. So that's what we'll be looking at tonight. And tonight we'll be bringing in our facilitator. He's going to be taking us deeper into this topic, right? He's going to be breaking it down step by step for us. He's going to give us practical strategies that we can actually implement immediately, right? So I'm going to be introducing our speaker for us tonight. First of all, I want to say that he's someone that I really, really admire, right? He's my friend, he's my colleague, right, in the industry. Okay, he's a data-specific and detail-oriented media buyer and marketer, and he's also the founder of TYB Ads, a digital marketing agency that focuses on the use of paid ads, most especially Facebook ads, to help digital course creators, affiliate marketers for digital courses, and also service-based business owners drive their business growth. Now, he has this particular person I'm bringing has personally managed over $200,000 in ad spend across all his advertising campaigns, with revenue generated across all campaigns at way over $500,000 $100,000 for his clients and also for himself. Now, he is the current head of growth and marketing for the financial podcast, The Imprint by Fortune Edwards. He also had the privilege to speak at various virtual events, including the Idea and Scale Virtual Meetup, organized by Joel Adepoju, founder of Ideate and Scale Africa. He was also awarded an honorary award by Purpose in Tech as an industry leader in digital marketing. You can see the kind of person I'm reading to you guys tonight. This is no small person. This is the real deal, right? Now, he has also been featured in the Daily Times newspaper for his contributions in the world of digital marketing in Nigeria and Africa. Tonight, I want us with a virtual clapping wherever you are, in your room, in your sitting room, wherever you are right now. I just want you to put your hands together as we make welcome our facilitator for tonight, in the person of Mr. Toheeb Yusuf. I'm clapping over here, and I'm sure that every other person is also clapping. Let's make welcome Mr. Toheeb Yusuf to the floor as he takes over tonight's session. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening. Good evening. Can everybody hear me? Good evening.
Yes, we can hear you, and I'm sure that everyone on the YouTube live can also hear you. We can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the intro. I mean, it's flattering, but thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. If you are watching on YouTube, I think I'm currently on from like doing this stream from Google. But if you are watching, good evening. Welcome to the webinar tonight. I'm sorry, I'm sure I'm audible enough. Like I'm not that sharp. Like I'm a little bit under the weather, but we have to have the call, right? So welcome tonight. Just like Deborah said, we are going to be discussing how to sell your business, like how to sell in your business, the business that sells webinar, right? The business that sells webinar. So I'm sure everybody here either owns a business or runs a business. So we are going to be discussing how to sell in your business, basically. All right. We are going to be discussing how to sell in your business, and we are going to be finishing with a Q&A. So we are going to be going over the topic for tonight, which is creating content that attract customers, clients, and sales. All right, we are going to be discussing on that. Can I share my screen, please?
Yes, sir. You can go ahead to share your screen, sir. I will.
Okay. Thank you so much. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. So, yeah. Can everybody see my screen, please? Please, if you can see my screen, let me know you can see my screen. Can we all see my screen? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so we are going to be going over a few things that are important in running a business that sells, right? So we are going to be going over these 5 things that I came up with in the slides. All right. So I want you not just pay attention to the slide, please. I want you to pay attention to the things I'm saying, because the slide is just key points, right? It's just headings. So it's what I'm saying that matters. So please don't really pay attention to the slide. The slide is meant to guide me, not you. All right. So, and also put down put down your pen and paper, and just put things down. All right, so we are going to start immediately. Somebody is Okay, I don't know. Okay, thank you. All right, so the business that sells, creating content that attracts customer, client, or sales. Why content? Why should you create content? I'm sure people, have that question in mind at all times. Like, why should I create content? I mean, is it important to create content? Is it important to have content out there? Is it important to post on social media? Why can't I just run my business and make sales on the low? There's nothing like on the low in big 2025 on social media. Imagine you own a shop in Lagos or in any big market, and you own this shop, and you are just in your shop all day, where people, your competitors, the people that sells with you, you sell jewelries in Alaba market in Lagos, you sell jewelries, and the people that are around you, the people that sell jewelry like you, they are outside, they are dragging customers. If anybody has worked in a major market before, you will see people will be dragging you, right? They'll be dragging your hands like, Oga, come and buy, come and buy. Chief, chairman, they'll be calling you different kinds of good names to come and buy. That is them creating content. Though in the context of their content is more like they are putting it in your DMs, they are bringing you to them, like they are forcing you. But it's content nonetheless, right? Content is very important in 2025. Content is very, very important in 2025. It's not what sets you apart, but it's what positions you as an authority that people can trust and buy from. All right. So content is like a growth engine. When you create content, you need the people to push out the content to, which are your audience, and you need what to push out after you get your audience, which is offers. All right. Offers is not your product. If you don't know this before, you need to know this. There's a difference between your product and your offer. Your product is what you sell. Your offer is the solution you provide and how you provide it. So it is measurable, quantifiable, and it is straightforward. For example, if you run a spa, like you help people, you do massage and the rest of those stuff, right? Your product is your spa, like your massage, like that is your product, your service. But your offer can be something entirely different. Your offer could be, we offer massage to couple. Like, if let's say you offer one massage like 10,000, so we offer massage to couple within for the time frame of 2 hours on Saturdays for a discounted price of the price of one. So that means instead of them coming, like I come, I do my own 10K, my girlfriend comes, she does her own 10K, we do it for people still at the same price of 10K for two people. And then it is just, those two, it is for just a period of a specific amount of minutes, and it happens only on Saturdays. So that is an offer, for example. I just created that fast. So your offer is not your product. And so your offer is the thrill, the enjoyment, the benefit, the not thrill, the satisfaction, beautiful, the satisfaction people enjoys after using your product or your service. That is your offer. All right. Then you need to have a content structure, like our boss said, Deborah, like she said, you need to have a strategy and not just create content. All right. You need to have a strategy to your content. So you need a structure, in fact, to it. You need to create a content structure for your content, for your pages, not just wing it around. So you don't just come and just post as you like. That's what so many people do. And then they always wonder, I'm not making sale, I'm struggling. Like, this business is not lifting off the ground, all kinds of complaint. But you are not doing anything, right? You are not doing any, yeah, of course you are doing something, but you are not doing a lot. You are not doing a lot in order for you to get results. So you need to be able to do stuffs, not just wing it around. I think the problem most people has is winging it. So don't just wing it around. Do stuff that actually matters. Do stuff that actually, you know, gets the job done, not just for the sake of I did it, right? Then you need to distribute your content, distribution playbook. Distribution means you see the reason why people that win big, everybody that wins, that are doing better than you, they have better distribution than you. It's as simple as that. All right. So if somebody is selling, like you guys are selling the same thing, but they sell 10 units per day, but you sell only one in 3 days. It's just because they have better distribution than you, because their product is reaching more people than yours. It's just as simple as that. So how can you get better distribution around your content in order to reach more people, in order to get more sales? We're also going to cover that tonight. Then the last thing we are going to discuss is the metrics that matter. You know, the things you should look out for, the metrics you should concentrate on, the metrics that really does matter. All right, that's the last thing we'll be looking at this evening. All right, that's the last thing we'll be looking at this evening, and this duration of this will be about 60 minutes. All right, so why create content? Why create content? So we want to talk about content, right? We want to talk about why create content, why content it's so why create content? You see, creating content is not just about putting out videos, putting out images, or putting out any kind of thing that you feel like your content is anyway. Creating content is all about connecting with people. What did I say? Creating content is all about connecting with people, like connection with people that will most likely be your ideal customer. So before creating content, or before creating any piece of content, the first thing we need to understand is who are my ideal customer. If you run a business, any business at all, and you sell to people, you need to first figure out who your ideal customers are in the first place. You need to have a clear understanding of your ideal customer avatar. Because if you don't, you would not know who they should be or how they should communicate. All right. So that is like the first step, honestly. Yeah. That is the first step. Understanding who your ideal, and you can do this with this is in fact you don't need to be so smart to do it in 2025, because there's AI in the market nowadays. Now, I'm not saying you should allow AI think for you, but it makes your job so easy. For example, if you sell jewelries, let's go back to the previous example we had. If you sell jewelries and your ideal audience, you don't know who you are selling the jewelry, because there are different kinds of people that buy jewelries. There are different, and people buy jewelries for different reasons. So you need to know the people like that your jewelry sells. For example, there are jewelries for Yoruba people. It's called ileke. And it's a jewelry anyways. It's a neck piece. So you sell that and you create content like somebody that sells jewelries for people that put diamond, gold, and all of these things around their body. You are killing yourself. It's different things completely. It's two different things completely. And it's not just two different things, it's different kinds of people that buy them or that uses them. You know. So you need to get clear on your customer, who they are, your customer avatar, who they are in the first place. You need to get really clear on that. And that is where most people miss it, right? They are not so clear of who they should be creating content for in the first place, right? And when you are not clear on who you should be creating content for in the first place, that's when you make these mistakes, or that's where these things happen, where you create content that does not relate to your ideal audience, and of course nothing happens. So you need to get clear on your audience. Then we'll talk about offer. I already talked about offer. So when you're creating your offer, I'm going to be brief about some of the things that should be in your offer. Your offer, when putting out offer in the market, your offer must be smart. 5 things. Specific. Your offer should be very specific. You should not be rambling when giving out your offer. Like, you know the kind of people you can help, you know how you can help them. When talking about that, you should not and never be rambling. You should not be would help you create so many contents. Would give you so many jewelries for free if you buy a jewelry if you buy a jewelry with us. That is so unclear. You need to be specific. Your offer needs to be measurable. Like, it needs to have a number to it. Like, it needs to have something that gives it measurability. Your offer has to be achievable. Like, it has to look realistic to your audience. Because at the end of the day, yeah, if they are taking your offer and they don't feel like this thing is realistic, they would not buy it. They will not buy it. Not buy it means they will not buy. All right. So it has to be specific, it has to be measurable, it has to be achievable, realistic, it has to be relevant to them. It has to be relevant to them. It has to be something that is interesting. As somebody that loves for me, for example, you are creating an offer for me, and you are telling me um you give me a free gift of stuff that I don't like, you know, I'll just look at you and say, and so what? I don't even want it in the first place. But you say you give me a free gift of stuff that I love. Come on, I'm going to probably take you on your offer because it's relevant to me, yeah. And your offer should be time bound. Your offer should have time into it. Like, it should be time bound. That is part of specificity too. We are going to give out 3 additional jewelries if you bought a product worth 500,000 from our store in the next 30 days. That is crazy offer. So if you bought jewelry worth 500,000 naira from my store right now, I'm going to give you 3 additional. In fact, I'm not even going to be so vague with the kind of jewelry. I'm going to give you 3 necklaces worth at least 100,000 for free. If you like, it's so specific. If you buy it in the next 30 days, it's so specific, it's measurable, it's time bound, it's relatable, because I'm going to be selling it to people that love jewelries. Then it's achievable, it's realistic. All right. So then, content that converts. So what kind of content converts? What kind of content converts? Or content that converts, they are content that basically drive leads and sales. That's the meaning of conversion. Content that brings people to your DM, that brings people to your funnel. Your funnel can be your DM, guys. By the way, if you don't know what a funnel means, a funnel means the system or the step-by-step process your customer takes from the moment they see you to the point they buy from you. That's like a simple definition of what a funnel is. So we are talking about content that drives sales. That is the content that converts, because they make promises here. So let's talk about those kinds of content. So let's go. Content that converts has about 5 elements for it. And we're going to talk about those elements. Number one is hook. Number two is the story. Number three is credibility. Number four is call to action. And I'm going to break this down for us in a way that we understand it so clearly. What is your hook? Your hook is the first thing people see or hear when they see your content. Your content, like video, voiceover, anything it is, image, it is the first thing they see. Let's talk about social media content in 2025. How many of us, I don't even need to ask this question, all of us here scroll the internet. Everybody here is guilty of scrolling the internet aimlessly at one point. Anybody that says otherwise, the person is probably just, it's not probably, the person is lying. Everybody scrolls the internet at one point. I'm not saying we do it consistently, but there will always be a time that maybe for you, you just scroll the internet and just, scroll it aimlessly. The content that you give the most attention, they are the ones that have a pattern interrupt, either visually or verbally. That's the content that somebody says something, like they say stuff that catches your attention, that seems so like, what's this person trying to say? Or you do something in the video that catches people's attention, like you visually say something, and that's the first thing that people see. It's called the hook. The first thing that people see would either retain them or repel them. When the first thing people hear in your content is not interesting enough, they scroll away. And when they scroll away, what happens? You would not be able to do anything. Like, you can't sell, basically, because they scroll away from your content. They are not watching your content. They are not reading your content. And if they don't watch or read, how are you going to sell? You are not going to be able to sell to those people because they are not reading or watching your content. And that is because there's no good hook. And how do you create hook? There are different ways of creating good hooks. There's the visual hook, there's the verbal hook. Visual hook is what people see. I'm sure you will see some content on Instagram that has a lot of millions of views. Those kind of content, they are the kind of content that you will see. Maybe somebody is throwing something. How would I describe this? Yeah, maybe somebody is throwing, that is what is called visual hook, because you feel like that thing is eating, that stick wants to eat somebody, but it's not eating anybody. I don't know if you've seen those kind of content. That is what is called visual hook. Or I saw a content today on what's it called, on Instagram or TikTok, I don't know. And I watched it, and it was an open loop content. So it felt like something was going down, down, down. It kept going down, 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 and it just kept looping over. Because they want to retain me. They don't want to retain me. They were very smart with the content. They knew what they were doing. That phrase, we all know what we are doing. So yeah, that is what a hook looks like. Or a hook, one of my content that went viral on TikTok. 7 signs you are studying the wrong course in a Nigerian university. That's it. Like, every Nigerian university student will want to know the signs, because this guy, that's my best content so far on Instagram. All right. So you disrupt pattern with your hook. Then story. Immediately you put out your hook, the next thing is you want to share a story about something. Now, I know people that sell products are going to be like, how do you sell a story to sell jewelries? You can. How did you start the jewelry business in the first place? So that is what a story is all about. A story is not an unrelated story of your life. It's a related story about your business and how it can inspire your customer to make a buying decision. That's it. So that is how you tell a story. That is what a story should be all about here. All right. The third thing is credibility. Credibility is is like social proof. What do you have? You see, when Deborah was introducing me now, she said I've been featured in the Daily Times newspaper. I am the marketing lead for the Imprint podcast. I have spent over $200,000. That is credibility. Anybody hears that, they know, oh wow, this guy knows what he's saying, because that is a lot of credibility. So you've also done something, no matter how small it looks to you. Every single person on earth has one credibility or the other. Use it. If you are working with DOC, that is a credibility on its own. If you've ever interacted with anybody, that is a credibility on its own, honestly. So every credibility just means what people can relate to you about something that is higher than you, or something about what you want. Like for example, if somebody has worked in a bank, and I need somebody that has worked in a bank to do something for me, that's credibility. Yeah. So credibility is not just about um it's not vague, or just about, it's about anything that positions you as an authority in the field you are trying to sell something at. All right. Then the last thing is call to action. Call to action is telling people to do this or do that. Click here to buy, click here to send a DM, click here to do this. It's basically very simple as it sounds. Call to action. All right. Call to action. That is the last thing. Then we talked about audience, right? We talked about audience. So, and I talked about creating an audience avatar. And I talked about understanding your audience. So these are the things you need. So you need to know who your product is for. I talked about if you are selling the jewelry for Yoruba people like Ileke, and you are selling gold jewelries and all those stuff. There are two different kinds of people that you sell to. So then you need to know where they hang out. When you know your audience, you will know where they are. If they're on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, you would know. All right, you would know. So basically, yeah, that's that about and what are they trying to achieve? What are they trying to achieve? That's the next thing, yeah. What are they trying to achieve? Then you'll be able to create a simple offer. I talked about offer already, so I'm not going to go over that. Then distribution and repurposing. So how do you distribute your content? So you need to have content distribution plan. For example, currently what I do is I create content on Instagram and I post on TikTok, because they are like Instagram Reels and TikTok, they are like very similar. You can also still post on YouTube Shorts. I create content on Facebook, I post on my LinkedIn sometimes. Or I create content, I just take what's it called? I take cues from what I post on Instagram and I turn it to a written content and I post on LinkedIn. And I can also share on my email. So basically, you need to be able to distribute your content across different platforms. A stick, then it will be like it's eating somebody, boom, then they will start talking. That is what is called visual hook. That is what audience content and distribution stands for. Making sure your content is seen across different platforms. Like you are not just on Instagram or just on Facebook or something. You are everywhere, and you are not just everywhere. You are everywhere with purpose. So my content on Facebook, on TikTok and Instagram is because they are reels. They are like short clips, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and they talk to my ideal audience of people that I'm trying to speak to. So that is what content distribution stands for. That's what content distribution stands for, basically. Okay, yeah, this is like the very important part that I love a lot. There's this saying, what you cannot track, you cannot grow. And that is exactly what this part is all about. You see, most people create content and don't take feedbacks from their content. So what does it mean to take feedback from your content? It means when you do something and it works, what did you learn from it? When you do something and it doesn't work, what also did you learn from it? What are the key things you learned from the content that you created that worked? And what are the key things from the content that you created that did not work? And that is what measurement is all about, tracking. What you don't track, you cannot improve. So there are different ways to track your content. These specific things I wrote here are just based on, you know, they are like a lot of technical stuff. So I'm going to break them down. Number one thing you want to be able to know about your content is how many people are watching. Let's say you create video content. How many people are watching the first few seconds of your videos? So if you put out a content and you it's a video, all right? How many people are watching the first few seconds? If you put out a content on and it's a text or it's an image, how many people are looking at the image for at least about 3 seconds before they scroll away? That is what you measure. When you measure stuff like that, it will tell you, oh, your hook, maybe your content generally is good, but your hook is not good enough. That is what measurement is all about. That is what tracking your content is all about. So then you know that, oh, maybe I need to improve my hook. I need to create different hooks. I need to, basically do something different from what I've been doing. Because when you now do something different, yeah, then you are not able to, get better results at the end of the day. All right, you are not able to get better results at the end of the day because you've looked at your content and you say, oh, people are not watching the first few seconds, then I need to change this. Or maybe people are watching the first few seconds but your video is not retaining them. That means you probably need to change your story. Remember, we talked about story and then we talked about credibility. Those are the key elements of what should be contained in your content, right? Or people are not clicking. That's the click-through rate, what is called the CTR. Then you are going to be able to know, oh wow, maybe I don't have good call to action. That's why people are not clicking. So basically, you need to understand every key element of your content at every point, and you should be able to measure them. And the good thing about this thing is that if you are posting on Instagram, for example, they have an analytics tool that will tell you all of these things if you are posting on Instagram. And even on TikTok, it's there, right? It's there. So these tools are what helps you measure these different parts of your audience, of your content rather. And when you're able to measure these different parts of your content, you can do what? You can improve on your content. All right, you can improve on your content. Then the next thing that you can measure is your sales, your DMs and all, or then the bottom line, your sales, your leads or whatnot. All right. So now, if your content is getting a lot of people send you a DM, it means that content is driving a lot of action in terms of inquiries or whatnot. My best content on TikTok, it brought a lot of DMs. People asking me different questions in my DM. It brought a lot, and it brought me followers. That single content got me about 300 or 400 followers thereabouts. That one content, it brought in a lot of followers and it brought in a lot of DMs. And of course, likes, all those things. My best content on Instagram brought me sales, it brought me money, it brought me DMs, and those DMs transcended or became sales. Most of them, anyways. Most of them. So how was I able to know that then I need to create more of these kinds of content? Is because I looked through my data, I looked through and I measured every single thing. Yeah, I measured every single thing. So measuring your content or knowing what to look out for is really what would help you get better with the content thing and help you get better results. All right, so I'm going to head over to YouTube right now, see if we have people um dropping. Okay, so we have people live. So yeah, basically that's, I'm going to stop sharing for now. I'm going to stop sharing for now. Okay. So we want to do something practical. So I'm going to stop sharing for now, and I'm going to share a little bit back shortly. So before I share again, all right. So if you have questions, if you have any question, this is the time that you 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 asked your question. Yeah, this is the time that you ask your question. If you have any question, just like on YouTube, type it. If you're on Google, type it on the chat box on Google. If you're on if you're on YouTube, type it on YouTube. Like, I'm going to try as much as possible to go through all of these channels to check out for questions in the next couple of minutes. So if you have any question, please just drop it there. I'm there. I'm looking at your text, your chat. So we are going to cover that. All right. So what I wanted us to cover before we go is a practical um a practical thing. I want us to do something really practical. Okay, hold on. With two pillars. Okay. Okay. So what we are going to do here is we are going to pick one business. So if you are the fastest to put this in the chat, right? If you are the fastest to put this in the chat, we'll pick your business and we'll use it as an experiment. So if you are the fastest to put this in the chat, we'll use your business as an experiment. So what should you put in the chat? Your business, of course, what you do, how you help people, and what you do to help people. So please put this in the chat, your business, and we'll cover 5 things in that business. So first of all, we'll pick an audience, all right, for you. We'll solve one problem for them. We'll create one content, and then you would produce the content and post the content on your platform, right? We'll create one content for you, probably on if you love written content, we'll create written content. If you love videos, we'll create a video for you on this call right now. All right. But somebody has to bite. All right. So I'm waiting for somebody to bite. Um, I've not seen anybody. Nobody has a business. I think everybody here is a business owner. I think you guys should be rushing to put your business in the chat because it's first come, first serve. Um, I don't know. Deborah, I'm not seeing business. Social media management. Okay, we have one already. Social media management. Okay. In creating content live at their physical location. Okay. Okay, so we have one business already. We'll go with that. Thank you so much for that. So we'll go with yours. Everybody that, like, if you dropped yours after, is just simple. Like we talked about, it is first come, first serve. So let's start with social media management while we also see if we have questions. But it doesn't look like we do. So let's cover that. So I'm going to, can I share my screen again? Can I share my screen again? Please,
Yes,
please.
please. You can go ahead. Share your screen, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. Please, is my screen visible? Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, I think you can. Okay, I think we can see my screen. So We are going to go over, we are going to pick one audience and we'll solve a problem for them. Are you going? Then we are going to create a piece of content to attract them. And I'm going to tell you what to do with that piece of content and how you can use it to attract. So I'm going to assume you cannot speak to me while I'm doing this. So I'm going to be making some form of assumption. So in my assumptions, I might say something, but all you have to do is tweak those things to fit in what your like current situation is. So don't use it verbatim or word for word. Just tweak it to fit in, because I might say something like, I've helped 10 business owners. If you've not helped 10 business owners, just put it at 5 business owners. If you've not helped, basically, so make sure it fits in what exactly you are on about. So we are going to pick one audience. So guys, remember our training that we said we are going to do who are we serving? Who are we serving? So we are going to do who are we serving? Basically, their persona, their pains, and where do they hang out? What are they trying to avoid? Everything. So this is what we are going to do. So let me create a whiteboard. Whiteboard. All right. So let me create a whiteboard. So we do this exercise together. All right. All right. So you can apply this to any other business. All you have to do is follow through with the same, like just the way I explained it. Everything I explained is what I'm just about to do. There's a reason why I'm doing it, so that you have a feel of someone doing it in practical, somebody putting out there like for real, so you can easily copy it and use it. All right. So text. So remember, we want to talk about who are we serving? Who are they? So when we want to talk about who we are serving, when you want to create an ideal customer avatar, you need to personalize it. All right. So we would have a sample name. What's the name of the person? Mrs. Deborah. Let's assume that is their name. What do they do? So now this is where it gets interesting when you're creating your customer avatar. All right. So for this person that we are using, again, this person we are using, she's the one that showed up. She runs a social media management. She wants to sell to business owners in Warri, help them create live content in their shops, in their offices physically. So that's what we are creating customer avatar for. So what do they do? Now, one thing most people do wrong is that now when you are trying to know what they do, you generalize it. Business owners, no, they are not. You need to be clear. Remember what I said about offer and everything. Specificity. If you are not clear on the kind of people you can help, trust me, you would have problems. So what do they do? I'm going to just use a very, like I said, tailor this to fit your listing. So I'm assuming you can't talk. They sell food business. They run a food business. So they are not just food business owner. They run a food business that sells native food. They don't sell. Now, you see that it's getting deeper. They can be a food business owner that sells foreign dishes. So that means the audience of the kind of content you create for them is different. The kind of audience they would look to attract is different. So even you that is trying to get them to work with you, the kind of things you will say to them is not the same. For somebody that sells foreign food for foreign people, all right? For somebody that now sells local food for local people. So you need to be clear to the last bit. It's just like our salespeople, they say you keep asking why till you get to the last stage. What do? Where are they based? Where do they do it? I don't know, but in the urban side of Delta, they do it in the urban side of Delta. You know where the urban side is. How old are they? They are middle age, all right? Like they are middle age, in their early 40s. The way you sell to people to somebody in our early 40s is different from the way you sell to somebody in our 60s. Trust me. What they accept or what they see is different. So our assumption is most food, and that's why you do your research, right? So like I said, your research is what helps you fill in this gap that I'm feeling. It's not it's not like random gaps. Your research is, you not just be putting in, you need to know who they are. Go. Exactly. Sorry for using that word. You need to know who they are exactly, yeah. So who are we serving? Personal pains, okay. Struggle. What is their struggle rather? They are not visible on social media. On socials, let me just put socials. That is their struggle. What have they tried? Remember, I spoke in a class recently, and I talked about speaking to people in stage 3 of buying, or like buying in stage 3 sophistication level. When you talk about buyers, all right, which is people that they know they have a problem and they know there's a solution. All right, so it's better always, rather than talking to people that are completely unaware, that don't even know that they should be visible on social media. When you speak to those ones, you are forcing it, right? For these ones, you don't force anything. All right. What have they tried? They've opened Instagram, and why is my button on? Instagram, and posted a couple of videos that didn't do anything. All right, they've opened Instagram and opened a couple of videos that didn't do anything. What other thing do we need? Where do they hang out? Where can you find them? This who are they? It can be a little bit deeper than this, but for the purpose of this, it should be a little bit deeper. All right. So your ideal customer avatar will still contain stuff like, not just not just their age or where they are or the pain, or it will still contain a little bit more information, right? But I don't want us to stay so long on that. So just do your research, but let's put that to bed for that. Then where do they hang out? Where can you find them? They are on Facebook. They are on Facebook groups. Facebook. They are on Facebook groups. Now, I'm not sure if they are on Facebook groups. Again, you are the one that will know where you can find them, right? Awesome. What are they trying to avoid or achieve? So most times you focus on what they are trying to avoid, because these people are moving away from pain more than they are moving towards pleasure. All right, honestly, what are they trying to avoid? So focus on that more than what they are even trying to achieve. So I'm telling you for a fact, people would rather, let me give you guys an example. People would rather not die. People would rather take the option of not dying than the option of living long. If that makes sense, let me give us an example. Like, I have a group of people that work with me, and their biggest motivation is losing their job. They don't want to lose their job, right? But the option of making more money doesn't sound so appealing to them. But their job, the salary they have on their job, it's like enough for them, so they don't want to lose it. So whenever I want to motivate them, it's all about telling them they can lose their job, and they are more motivated than if I tell them that, guys, you can make more money. Oh. They are not motivated with that one. So people are trying to move away from pain more than they are trying to move towards pleasure. Every piece of content you create, you should know this fact. People are trying to move away from pain more than they are, like, it's just like, I would rather, like, not have so much pleasure, but my life too should not be difficult. That's just how people are wired. And this should be, so you need to focus on what they are trying to avoid, basically. Not, you can still talk about what they are trying to achieve, but reapers social media managers that promises them virality and deliver nothing. Most likely they've worked with people that are like repair social media managers that promises them that they will go viral in 1 week and then nothing happens. That's most likely what they are trying to move away from. Then what are they trying to achieve? Of course, I've said it, get more active on social media. So we need to craft a simple offer for these people. And then we'll now create a simple hook. Why is this moving? We'll now create a simple hook. So we are doing two things based on all this information that we have. So like I said, we are going to, where is it? I think I missed something. Okay. All right. So we are going to create an offer, and then we are going to create a hook, and we are done. So what offer can we create from this for our business owner that wants to get such people that, that wants to do social media management? Yeah, that wants to do social media management in Delta State. I think that's it. So, and do it physically. So what's the best offer we can create? So let's create our offer. So based on this, knowing this, the kind of person she's trying to reach, what do you think they want? All right. So remember, our offer should be what? Smart. So just watch me. I would help you create 5 pieces of content visually, 5 pieces of content physically, rather, in 3 days. 20 content for free. Sorry, guys. I will help you create 5 pieces of content physically in 3 days that will at least drive 20% better engagement than your best performing content for less than the price of a for less than the price of something relatable. I don't know because it's not my niche. But if I'm going to do a little bit research, so I'm going to explain what I mean here so that you can fill in the gap. Because honestly, I don't know. So what does this is my offer. My offer is smart. How is my offer smart? It's very specific. 5 pieces. 5 is not vague. 5 is not me rambling. I'm very specific. In 3 days, time bound. I'm not telling them that I will do it. I will just do it. I say I will do it in 3 days. Now you know whether it's possible in 3 days. I don't know. This is me creating an offer for you, a offer framework that will drive 20% better results. It is achievable. It is relatable. All right. It is specific. It is measurable. It is achievable. It is relatable, and it is time bound. 20% better result. I mean, if you are good at what you do, you should be able to do that. If you look at their page, you will know that okay, you can get them 20% better results. So if they have 10 likes and they have 12 likes on your post, you've delivered results. All right. So for less than the price of something they like buying, I don't know. So you look at them, what do they like buying? Maybe they love native clothes. I don't know. Basically, if I'm creating this offer for myself and I'm doing it for business owner, I can say for less than the price of them hiring a digital marketer. All right. Or for less than the price of a laptop because it's in my niche. So basically, you need to know your niche. You need to know what they are interested in. All right. So this is an offer. Very simple offer statement. It's a very straightforward and simple offer statement that you give these people. And of course, then you close them on sales. So this is an offer statement. This is an offer. So let me duplicate this. So let's create a.
Okay, we apologize for that. Our facilitator is going to join us back again. I think he had a network glitch, but I'm sure that everyone has been enjoying this session because this session is powerful. I don't know about you, but for me, I am learning a lot, right? So personally, for me, learning never stops. Learning is continuous for me. And I want to believe that every other person here too also is learning one thing or the other. If you've not picked something for yourself at this particular point, then I must say that you're on a very, very long thing, right? Because he has shared so much of insights already for us. Our facilitator is back up now and he will continue from where he stopped. You're welcome back.
Yeah, I think that was a hell of a village people thing. Okay, so sorry guys, I'm back. Um I'm back. Okay, yeah. So sorry. I think I just got cut off by a misunderstanding. So we are going to create our hook for our video now. This is what I wanted to clear up and just took us off. I don't know. So we are going to try to create our hook now for our content. So I'm going to create the hook. You can create the story and credibility and all of that, but I'm going to give you pointers. So how do we create our hook? So your hook, remember what I said when I was talking about hook? Let me go back there. Let me go back there. I said it's a pattern break and it has clear benefits anyways. And I said it can be visually or verbally. Visually means what people can see. Verbally is what you see, let's say in your videos or in your text. All right. So how can I write a hook that would be so attractive for people like this? So it's going to be very simple. Are you a food business owner in mention their location? I don't know. Mention their location in Warri. I don't know where in Delta. Right? Are you a food business owner in this particular place. And have you gotten this memo on how to, what do they want? They want to be visible on social media, on how to be visible on the social media, be specific about it. Let's say Instagram, on Instagram and Facebook. Let's say, be specific. Again, the more specific you are, the better it is. This is a question, all right? This is a question. So if I put this content out and I run ads on it and I target, in fact, even if you target the whole of Nigeria on Facebook, the ad will mostly be looked at by people that are in that location and food business owners. This is how you create a hook that brings people, because now, does it do what we said? It is a pattern break and it has a clear benefit. Does it not have a clear benefit? Where is it? This is does it not have a clear benefit? How to be visible on social media, on Instagram and Facebook? It does. Somebody typed something. Okay, yeah, it does, because you are telling them you are going to show them how to be visible on social media. So this is like a hook. All right, this is like a hook of attracting them. Then you go into the body of the content, the story, and the credibility. If I want to go into the body of the content, then I start talking about my name is, then you talk about what you've done for food business owners or for people that are related or relatable to them. All right, people that are relatable to them, I've helped them do this, I've done this, I've done that. Then when they see the things you've done, they are going to click, they are going to send DMs, and then you position your offer to them and you are going to get them to budge, right? You are going to get them to bite. So this is a simple framework on how to, approach content creation on social media and creating an offer and, selling, with your offer and all of that. So I don't know if by the time I was absent, there have actually been questions. So let me check. Let me check. I don't know. So let me check YouTube. Let's start from there. Tila is not kind of used gadget. Sorry, you didn't send that early. You didn't send that early, so we've used yeah, people are trying to move away from pain. Yes, honestly, they are trying to move away from pain more than achieve anything. I don't know. I don't know why that is, but that's just human behavior, I guess. So there are basically no questions. So that would be it for this session. I really hope this has helped somebody. So I'm going to stop presenting. Deborah, I'm going to stop presenting. So I don't know if there are any further questions, yeah. So yeah, thank
Wow.
you so much.
Wow. Wow. That's the thing that's just be screaming since. This is a lot. I mean, it's a lot. Thank you so much for tonight's session. I don't know, for those who did not meet up this particular session, you missed a lot, oh. And if you're opportune to actually watch the replay, thanks be to God, right? Because this session was actually very, very powerful, right? We learned a lot how to create content that are actually attract clients, and of course paying customers. You don't just want to be on social media where you're actually just posting for likes, for comments, for engagement, and then you're not even making any money, right? We heard how he gave us structure of some of his content that went viral on different platforms. For the one on TikTok, he brought in more DMs and of course followers, and for the one on Instagram, he brought in more money. So you see that at the end of the day, you really need the money, right? And of course, this webinar is tied to the business that sells, right? So your business really needs to sell at all times, and of course, that includes your content. We want to really say a very big thank you to our facilitator for tonight. Thank you so much for being with us this long, because I know that you have several things that you ought to have been doing by this time, but then you cleared up your schedule just for us, and we are really, really, really grateful. Thank you so much for dropping so much value tonight. I want us to just put, I just want us to just tell him thank you, on the chat area on YouTube. Just tell him thank you. Just say thank you for tonight. And of course, I also want to say thank you to everyone here too who has joined the webinar. Thank you for being present, right? Because your willingness to actually learn and apply what what would actually take your business forward is actually a very good drive. And I'm really saying thank you to everyone. Now, I just want to just quickly remind us, even as the session was ongoing, I just want to quickly remind us that your content has to be what client attractive. It's not something that just has to be randomly just creative. It has to really be client what attractive. It should attract your client enough for them to actually what give you the money. That's the most important thing, right? So please, as much as possible, don't waste your energy trying to chase likes. Don't waste your energy trying to chase vein metrics. Focus more on generating leads. Focus more on generating sales. That is the most priority. And of course, most importantly, see how well you can actually position your business as the go-to solution, so that people don't just notice you like that. There's some people that can be very visible, like their visibility is really very, very high on social media, but then they're not making money. Nobody's contacting them, nobody's giving them jobs, but they are visible. So you don't just want people to notice you, you don't just want to be visible, you want them to actually choose you, right? Apart from them trusting you enough, you want them to choose you and say, take my money, I give it to you, and give me the solution that I actually need, right? These are the things that will actually help us see how we can create amazing content that would actually turn into clients. Now, for tonight, you already know that for every webinar that we have, of course, starting from last month when we started, there's always an action step for us, right? We're not just telling you to we're not just here to actually just come and teach you and point your heads without you actually doing something. So for tonight, I want you to actually take out the time to write out one action that you will implement from this particular session. It could just one. I'm not saying two, I'm not saying three. If you decide to do 2, 3, it's fine, but just one, something that that you really want to implement, because truly small actions, when it's consistently done, actually creates big results. Small actions, when it's consistently done, actually creates what big results. So please make sure that you actually take in action. All right. And one most important thing I also want to let us know is that the business that sells is not just a webinar, it's a community, right? It's a community. And of course, as much as each month we actually bring in different editions and all that, we are actually creating a tribe here. Okay, we're actually creating a tribe, and we are encouraging everyone to actually be a part of what we are doing at this particular point. Okay, of course, at the end of every session, we are going to definitely provide you the replay. You're going to get access to the replay so that you can always watch it again, and of course take notes over and over again. So please, as much as possible, stay active in the community, because it's even going to be much more impactful. Trust me, it's going to be much more impactful even as we move on in different months. October edition is coming. Stay tuned for it, right? And as we close, finally, I just want to tell you, please show up with clarity, build with consistency, and position yourself as the solution to your client. Position yourself as a solution to your client. Thank you once again for being here, and thanks to our facilitator, Mr. Toheeb Yusuf. Until next time, keep building the business that sells. Good night, everybody.